How's it going, you beautiful people? That's right. Back again. Figured I'd show off the latest book project, although it's technically not released yet. It's looking amazing. You'll have to keep an eye out for the actual launch because, well, I'm not... never been good with building hype or, well, like with these two. Didn't really talk about it, didn't really do anything, didn't really promote it. Still not really bothered about, I think there's only actually 2 copies of this out in the world. I have one of them. It was mostly made for myself, like I've talked about in the previous videos of Mindset. It's just a reminder more than anything of where I want to go and what I want to do. And that's kind of where these book projects stemmed from because, well, for the longest time I've been making art, not really... I've been exploring my mind and playing around with different art, but it always felt not enough. Like, whilst it's fun to educate or inspire people, it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's finite. Like, it feels very odd because I start something and I finish it and I share the finished product. Like, with something like this, it's different because, well, it's made for other people. It's made to be coloured. It's made to be enjoyed and actually experienced by people. Whatever age you are, it's like you get a piece of what I love to do and you can colour it in whatever way you want. That was kind of why the sort of beauty of this thing developed, because after creating the first one and seeing how sort of inspired my friend was about writing them, I was like, well, okay. That's why for the most part of last year I didn't really do much or say much because busy drawing. Busy sort of building these collection of drawings so that I could then pass them off. And the reason it took so long to actually come out is, well, self-publishing. It is an absolute nightmare. Like, whilst I don't want to talk, negatively about the process, it's like, it's half the reason I did this one, because I just wanted to see the process and understand the nuances with how it's done. And that's like, this one's just mostly just art with affirmations, but it was a lot more difficult. Like, placing the images right, making sure they look right, and actually sort of framing them all so that they work. Because a lot of these, like this one especially, because they're A4 drawings, you're scaling them down. So whilst it retains all of the detail, it's like you've got to draw quite loose because any fine detail gets very lost unless you have particularly good eyes, which, wow. Yeah. But that being said, I learned an absolute shitload about the process and realised very quickly that whilst it was a fun idea to make something myself, actually writing or publishing something again wasn't... I don't know. I might do it. I might not. It's one of those strange things where it's like, yeah. I love the fact that it's helpful and that it can be used to help people, but like I say with these ones, there's another... This one's released. You can find this on, well, it's global distribution, so basically anywhere. and it's in ebook form, but why would you buy a book in ebook? I mean, come on. Then, like I say, this one's coming very soon. And then there's another 2 more to come after that. So like I say, I just went on a mad one. I think I did 150 illustrative works in like 6 months or something. That's why the rest of the year I was a bit frazzled and burnt out, and went back to just sort of painting and focusing on working on what I wanted to do next, because as much as I love doing these, it's a lot of work. It's an awful lot of work with wow. Ooh, can I? No, best not. I was going to say, can I show you one of those, but I best not. If you want to see any of these ones as well, I'm slowly posting them on my Instagram so that you can actually see the images. Although, Instagram sharing A4 images is never quite works out the way it should. But it's interesting because I learned so much from doing these projects that for the years and years of like progressing slowly, it's like the jumps in like illustrative works, because I started looking at it as more of an illustrative project rather than like the first one I was just making artworks, and then I like gave it to my friend to figure out, and then with the subsequent books I started to actually plan them out and think about them, and then try and do what I always do, which is just make things up and pull things out of my mind, but do it in a more, I want to say thoughtful way, but a bit more detail. And I say a bit more detail because, it's purely subjective, and especially with what is essentially an illustrative colouring book. Yeah, I just figured I'd talk about these a little bit because it's something that I really enjoy doing, and like I say, I really want to do more of it. I just need more space. Like, it's the biggest thing I realised with doing these ones. It was like, because what I ideally want to do is make A3 drawings that I can then scan and scale down to A4, because then I'll be able to pack more detail into an A4 image. Because whilst I can do a lot with an A4 image, there's just certain limitations. Like, there's certain things you just can't do. There's certain details, or like, it's like I say with detail, it's like you've got to draw so small on A4, and then like I say with capturing little details, it's very difficult, which is why some of it gets muddied up, because, well, I forget to wear my glasses and just get entrenched in drawing. But like I say, with the ability to scale up and actually work on a larger scale, it then means I can then scale down and make more complex imagery. And I know, arguably, what I already do is to some degree complex. Like, although, depends who you ask. Had someone turn around and be like, "Oh, you're just using cheap tricks," and it's like, yeah, that's art. It's all an illusion, my dude. Right? It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all about tricks of the eye, tromloy. But like I say, I'm not here to educate people on the complexities of art or the complexities of composition. But that being said, does make it more like I say, it's just enthralling, because this is just the first, like, this is just sort of an idea, really, like, and seeing how the process of an idea turns out. But it's that, and doing the Heaven and Hell series really made me think and look at the sort of types of work I was creating, and it was like, just puts me in such a shitty headspace doing horror work or like darker works, and at a certain level it's just like, I just enjoy doing positive things. I love making these sort of quirky, simplistic works, like using a degree of minimalism, but still managing to convey a sense of feeling or wonder, But this is why, like I say, moving forward into the future, this is where I really want to just play around with this, because books are the thing that sort of drove me when I was younger and made me think outside the box. So if I can then create and or add to that, why not? Like I say, this is the first one I look back on, and I'm a bit... It's not that I'm ashamed of some of it, it's just like I was just in the wrong headspace to really think of a story to then draw it out. I was just, like I say, playing around with ideas and seeing what came out of it. But I love how it turned out. Like I say, the author did an amazing job of like turning it into a rational story and actually putting it into a format. But like I say, all it did is just spur me on to more ideas and more like ambitious projects, because whilst I love doing these things, it's like, I inevitably want to keep improving. This is my favourite. Like, everyone needs a crystal flower in their life. It's funny how different like each one is compositionally, but hey, who am I to judge? Yeah, moving forward, as I say, I just want to continue to play around with these ideas and just push it further and further and see what's, well, like with everything I've always done, is like see what's capable. Just keep playing with ideas until, well, like I say with this, I find something that I'm happy. Like I say, I dedicated a lot of time to doing this, and I'm more than happy to continue doing it, because it's just so much fun. But to be able to do it effectively and on a higher level, as with most things, just gonna have to keep plugging away and learning. As I mentioned, the amount of sort of personal growth I've seen through doing these projects is like, this is why I want to continue to do them, and why I will, figure out a way. Because once that one's out, that's the third one then, and then there's 2 more. So that basically gives me, a year to get this project moving forward in a cohesive way so that I can then make some more. Because like I say, that's all I really want to do, is just keep drawing and playing with ideas. But hey, it's the beauty of ideas. Well, the beauty of doing things, is like the more you do, the more ideas you get, and the more ideas you get, the more you can do, and it's just a vicious cycle. It's a fun vicious cycle, but like I say, yeah. I have an issue with getting enough materials to keep my mind happy long enough. Which isn't a bad thing, as I say, it's just the process of doing things. But as I say, keep your eyeballs locked, because I'm fairly sure within a few weeks this will be live. So I'll leave a link in the description for this one and try and find the link for this one. And like I say, if you didn't see the last video on what I want to do with this mess of paper, go watch it. It'll make more sense. Till the next time. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, all that usual jazz. Peace out, my lovers.